Well, hello there. I'm Alena Chapman, founder of Manifesto. And we have an interesting topic for you today because I know it's going to be one that affects you in some way, somehow, because it does everyone. And that is, if there is someone who is bothering you in your life, there's a lesson for you. Now, notice I did not say that there's a piece of that in you. I know that so many spiritual and also self-help people will say if there is something that's bothering you about another person, that's because it's part of you. Not necessarily. It can be part of you it can be so many different lessons. It can be a lesson of something that you needed to get over from a childhood. It can also be something about inside of you that you are scared of becoming. It can also be something that you are so not, or you are the direct opposite of. And believe it or not, that's probably the hardest lesson to learn. For instance, sometimes when I go to a party, well, actually not sometimes, there was a family party, there was always someone there who was a know-it-all. I know who that is. It was an uncle. Always a know-it-all. He always had an opinion, he always had to voice it, and he always had to prove he was right. Now, I'm not that way. There's not a piece of me in there that's like that. It's just not. I mean, I believe what I believe, but I don't feel I have to convince you. Number one, I know arguing is not going to convince you. So why does it bother me so much? Now just think of this. It's a polar opposite. It's a polar opposite. And polar opposites are extremely both. Okay, let's take love and hate, or love and fear, actually. Love and fear. Fear, is an extremely strong energy. It's an energy that just turns and it excites you. It's anxiety. It spins you into a bubble, but you feel like you're doing something, but you're not. It's but it's an erratic energy too, okay? But it's very strong. It puts the fire in your belly and the adrenaline, the fight or flight. But then there's love. And believe it or not, love is just as strong. That's why they're polar opposites. But the energy is felt in such a different way. Astounding peacefulness, astounding happiness. The world changes into rainbows and butterflies. It's very strong, very opposite. Because it's not a bubble. All of a sudden, everything's out here and beautiful. Do you see? Very strong. Well, it's the same thing for that person who's bothering you sometimes. It is a direct opposite. And it's funny, when you can understand, like I could understand all of a sudden, that my uncle was a direct opposite of me. It helped me to navigate all the in-between vibrations from there. I could stay over on my pedestal and feel like, well, I've got a great energy. And he's just horrid. You can do that, but no, that's not where it's supposed to be. You can start to creep in. I started to just try. I didn't have to go all the way over there. I could dance within all these little vibrations between these two polar opposites. Actually, you know who taught us that? The harmonists. They were around the same times as the Essenes and the pharaohs. Okay, so right before Jesus lived. And they studied science into spirituality. They were the ones who gave us the spiritual laws and the universal laws. And they studied a lot about vibration. If you really want to learn about vibration, those are the studies you need to look at. But they taught us that between the polars, there's many, many little vibrations going all the way through. You have so much area to play. And I found when I went to these family meetings, I allowed myself to not sit on my high horse, but when he started to voice his opinion, I'd kind of come in and I'd play a little. I'd say, well, you have a good point there. I'm still over by my polar because that's where I'm comfortable. But you have a good point there. Have you ever thought of this? And he'd go talk, 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 talk. And I'd learn something sometimes, or I'd disagree. But guess what? It didn't bother me anymore. he didn't bother me anymore. There are many reasons why we can get triggered sometimes by some people. You know, some people can bring something up in our past. Really, if you have someone that's bothering you in your life, there's a lesson there. You have to look at the different ways and what is going on with you, because you might not be me, and the guy who was my uncle who was bothering me isn't the uncle that's bothering you. You've got to sit down, and there are ways to do that. Meditation is fantastic. There's a wonderful Tao meditation that's a semi, you don't have to get so deep like transcendental, and you allow the light to come in, and you can set the intention. Why is this person driving me out of my mind? Why are they triggering such yucky feelings in me? And you allow the light to come down, and as it travels down your chakras, down into your body, you will find that it will stop where that block is. And when you get to that block, like, why is my uncle driving me crazy? Oh my gosh, he is a direct opposite of me. Or, oh my gosh, he's triggering me back into that childhood story. I got to investigate that. Oh, or my gosh, there is a little part of me that's scared of that. But once you name it, then you can work with it and tame it or let it go. Do you see? There's a lesson. And once you learn the lesson, it doesn't come back. You can meet 100 people like that, and they won't affect you. Isn't that cool? When we start to learn that everything is a lesson and an experience, and we just don't let ourselves go off on it, then that's when we gain the gifts of our life and our journey enriches. As always, my dear friends, Spirit is love. And when we start to realize the relationships and how they affect us, in what way, and in a way of growth versus just anger and everything else, then we are more with love. And that means we are more with Spirit. And on top of that, we grow and are happy. Always and always, namaste. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll enjoy. Namaste.